time to play a game. Do you have to lick it?
Pigs are back.
I don't think it's a bad thing if everyone thinks you're a bit unhinged.
Yeah, you look like a biter.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the second episode of our podcast. I didn't think we'd get here, I'll be honest. I thought it was going to get cancelled, but there's always another try, isn't there? So this is IMRG Takes On. What we do every episode on here is we take a big topic and then we try to overcome it as best we can. So this week we've picked the British weather, which is very ambitious, and I'm not sure that we can ever really defeat it, but we're going to give it our best try. So I'm Andy Mulcahy, and I'm here joined by
Tom Jacobs. So before we just get into the e-commerce side of the show, I just wanted to touch on something, because the weather obviously affects lots of things. And I can see in the notes here, when we were talking about different stories and how the weather can affect you, it just says Andy's fear of heights. How is that weather related?
It's weather related because it was caused by the weather. So I didn't used to be afraid of heights, but then I went up the Eiffel Tower when it was incredibly windy. I mean, incredibly windy.
Right.
And the problem with the Eiffel Tower is you can see through it, and I could see right through to the floor, and I just felt like I was going to get blown off the bloody thing. So that sort of changed me quite a lot. That.
Are you attached when you climb up? I've never been up the Eiffel Tower. If you get,
I wasn't abseiling on the.
Well, I don't know. If
there's stairs, it's
there
easier.
Like a, what are they called? Those little clips that you clip on, and you're like, so you don't get blown off in particularly extreme weather.
I think the thousands of people who go up and down the Eiffel Tower every day, I don't think they've got time to clip them all on.
Would you go to right to the top, to the point? Because I know
you don't get clipped at the top.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. You went, I assume.
What kind of most popular attraction in the world do you get clipped onto?
Oh, there's probably loads.
Like
Grand Canyon.
That's not the most popular attraction in the world, though, is it? Not many people go to the Grand Canyon compared to the Eiffel Tower.
I reckon loads of people do. Yeah, but I'm thinking of things that I reckon if you're walking around the side of the Grand Canyon, you're probably clipped on. Anyway, so that changed your fear of heights. So how was that the weather's fault?
Because it was windy. So then, because that then made me, it gave me like a proper little paranoid sort of episode up there, But then I did a skydive for charity, and I thought, it's one of those things where someone said to me, by the way, do you want to jump out of an aeroplane? And I just went, yeah, all right. And I didn't really think about it until I arrived at the landing strip that day. And I thought, I'm going to jump out of an aeroplane in a minute, aren't I? And then I wasn't too happy. And it wasn't too bad until I got up there. And then you have to go towards the door. You have to sort of shuffle along on your bum towards the door and throw yourself out of the airplane. Mm-hmm. And everything in your brain says, don't do that. What are you doing? Like, this is your brain speaking. I'm going to have to take charge for a minute because what you're doing is insane. And then because I did that and didn't enjoy it, by the way, whenever I get on a plane now, there's just like this little bit of PTSD flashback that reminds me of the stupidity that sometimes overtakes me.
What was quite funny is I've seen that picture of you just as you're about to jump out of the plane, and like you are whiter than anything white I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
you look absolutely
because you say it's a picture
granted,
of me.
I didn't even do it, so I can't.
You say it's a picture of me. It's not me. That isn't me.
Yeah.
I've taken leave of my body at that point.
You looked a bit like Sideshow Bob. It was quite funny. Because your hair's blowing all over the place in Sideshow Bob sort of fashion. It was quite good.
Well, that was intentional. I mean, if you're gonna jump out of an aeroplane, you might as well look stupid.
Have you gone on a plane since?
Yeah.
Has it affected you?
Well, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think is the point. It's always seemed a little bit stupid to me to be up in the sky. Like humans are like that, aren't they? Like what are we? We're sort of land-dwelling creatures, aren't we? Previously lived in trees, probably. So now what do I want to do? Well, I'm going to fly, or I'm going to go to the bottom of the ocean. I'm going to climb this mountain where I can't breathe. But that's sort of what we're like, isn't it? We're very stupid like that. It's like, what can I not do? Or maybe I'll set myself on fire or something.
I reckon that's what the school teachers of the Wright brothers said when they were coming up with. They were like, we're going to fly one day. And they're like, yeah, all right, stick to the ground. That's probably what they said to them. Thinking about flying, though, so the weather properly affected one flight I was on. We was flying into Gatwick. It was incredibly windy, cloudy and everything. And the whole journey, I'm not a great flyer myself. Ever since watching Lost and I saw the whole planes go down, I absolutely hate it. So I'm not a great flyer. It got really windy and I was drinking a lot of water because I was just like trying to distract myself the whole journey because it was a bit turbulent and I don't like it. And the more water I drank, obviously there is an outcome there that happens to every human. The more you drink, certain things got to happen. And I was like, okay, we're coming into Gatwick, I better go because I'm getting really, really need the toilet. And they shut the toilet off and said until we land, because of the turbulence, toilets were off limit. And then we continued to circle for 45 minutes around Gatwick as I sat there, bursting, right?
And did you get through it?
Well, so this was the thing. So I thought it got to a point where I thought I'm going to have to do something severe and put like a jumper down my trousers or something because it's getting really bad. And then we finally landed. And as we were getting, I'm right in the middle of the bloody plane as well. So I got to wait for everybody to get off. So I went to stand up and realised I couldn't stand up straight because it would have just happened there. So I had to hunched over, crawl sort of down the aisle to the end, to the poor stewardess who was looking at me like, the hell
How
is
much
going
have you
on?
had to drink?
Yeah.
Sir?
And I really sheepishly was like, please, can I use the toilet? And she went, okay, yeah, come on then. So I went in, did my business, but it took forever because obviously, I've never needed a wee more in my life, right? I came out of the toilet. I was the only one on the plane. Pilots had got, everybody had gone. I was just the only one. I was like,
how long was this wee?
Well, mate, long. But I thought, it was like, security here. What's going on? The pilot's gone. The stewardess, I could have just, if I know how to fly a plane, could have just probably taken the plane. And that was all because of the weather. And that will stay with me for the rest of my life because I've never had a feeling like that before. It was agony.
Well, there you go. We've all learned something today, haven't we? So, the British weather, what is that all about? What thoughts immediately spring to mind when I say that?
Well, I think of you, actually, because all I really hear
Because most things make you think of me?
No, most things you do complain about, but the weather you complain about more than anything. I think most of the time when we're in the office or if we're in an event or we're doing a webinar, whatever it is, you tend to find a way to, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's raining too much, it's not raining enough, you love a good argument. But just in terms of e-commerce generally with the weather, I think it's the only thing that actually impacts e-commerce. I've been here for 6 years now, and there's always, is the World Cup going to do it? Is the Euros going to do it? Is there an election that's going to change how e-commerce? And it's always pretty much the same every year, give or take COVID. But the weather is the one that actually seems to have any impact, whether it's too hot or not. And that's the only one that I think drastically changes sales.
Yeah, so for example, we're recording this on the morning where Keir Starmer appears to have resigned. So, the Prime Minister's gone, there's going to be a change of administration, etc. Does that mean people are going to buy shorts or cornflakes? It doesn't really sort of do anything like that, even though it is a very, very big development. But you're right, in e-commerce, it definitely is the thing that makes a change. It's not every category, obviously. There are certain ones like garden, for example. If you go to a garden centre on a nice warm day, it's packed with people, particularly if it's weekend. If you go there
you're quite a keen gardener, aren't you?
I was until I bought a house that's got an artificial garden, so I'm a bit stumped at the minute.
Well, it's just funny because I didn't go to a garden centre this weekend, but I did go to Tesco's, and they obviously kitting out all the garden stuff. And I just saw a bloke walking back from Tesco's with 7 bags of stones. That was it.
Stones?
Just stones. He didn't have anything else. And I thought,
What do you mean stones?
Well, I don't know what more I can say about them. The rocks,
round ones,
little circular stones. Yeah,
hard.
I would assume so. I didn't get one thrown at my head, but I think it would probably hurt if you did. But 7 bags of the things, and I just thought, look, you would go to a garden centre. Why are you going to Tesco's to get your stones?
Also, people are insane, aren't they? Why would you buy stones? Do you know what's on the ground? Stones.
Well, yeah, but in vast supply, what are you going to go pick up stones from your local park for 10 hours?
Oh, it's better than buying them, isn't it?
I don't know. But it did just make me laugh because it was just like, that is just the typical weather purchase, isn't it? People just panic and all the meat was gone so you can have a barbecue or,
I'm not sure it's a typical purchase. I don't think, it's warm. Do you know what? I'm going to go and buy 7 bags of stones.
All right, the behaviour.
Then I can wear them and get a nice tan.
The behaviour was typical. That or he was burying a dead body, I'm not sure.
Well, where you live, wouldn't be surprised. But in e-commerce, it things like garden really boom. You see a lot of fan sales. It always amazes me. I think people lose fans. I think this is the thing.
Well, I was speaking to Matthew, our colleague, the other day. Surely everyone's bought their fans now. We had, it's been hot. It's hot every year, but every summer, the last few ones seemed like they've gone particularly hot. I bought a fan 2 years ago. They last.
How has no one got an umbrella?
What do you mean?
Well, how do they still sell umbrellas in this country? Who has not got an umbrella?
Yeah, but umbrellas break.
Well, you should be more careful.
When it's windy, if it's raining in London and it's windy and you walk down, there's so many umbrellas that are just stuffed into bins.
You can't carry the stones home. There's no way. I just wouldn't trust you.
Are we going back in a conversation? I'm lost. We're just talking about umbrellas.
We're having a conversation. It's contextually relevant to the conversation that we're having.
Okay, fine. Stones would break an umbrella if that's what you're asking. Is there anything else e-commerce wise that the weather will affect? So garden, obviously, clothing. Well, clothing you'd think it would, but it hasn't, has it?
Clothing has different problems. Clothing has Vinted, really. And I think that sort of changed the game. I think people buy the cheaper sort of stuff through Vinted. I think that the new release for clothes is still a big deal. But I think that some of that volume has just moved over there. I think it just has. So, yes, it will stimulate some of that. I think when you go to retail more generally, what used to be the case is that if we looked at the figures one week and we saw, it was down last weekend, and you looked at whether it was raining, it did genuinely used to change people's propensity to go to the high street because they'd just shop online instead. But now it's become so sort of ingrained in, your daily life, particularly through your phone. It's just sort of always there. Just because it's raining, it doesn't necessarily rain off the high street, if you see what I mean.
Mm. Do you go to your high street at all? I was going to say recently, but are you a high street shopper or do you shop online? Are you a bastion for online e-commerce?
Well, I spend all of my spare time in my shed, which I'm renovating at the moment. So there's nothing else that exists outside of that.
Well,
So-
if you need some stones, I can tell you where to get some.
I'd love that. But I do think that the weather gives you a nice sort of get out of jail card, really, if you work in resale. So what you'll typically find is people will say, why were your sales down last week? Why is your figures not particularly good? And then it comes from senior management, and you just say, well, it was raining, so therefore it sort of changed people's.
I mean, surely that's only applicable to clothing or garden. Garden, obviously, it makes sense. But if you're selling fridges, why are your sales down? Well, it rained last week. It's a bit of an
but
odd
then
one,
you'd use the flip reverse of that, and you say, oh, well, the thing is, it was a bit cold, so we couldn't sell any fridges. And then when it gets hot, you say, yeah, it's too hot, though. It's a bit like with the trains, why aren't the trains running? Oh, it's raining, it was windy.
There's a leaf on the track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these things are just not going to work. But it also plays merry havoc with farming, obviously, which is very relevant to retail and selling that stuff, because if you don't get enough rain, then you can't grow carrots. And the thing, we talk ourselves up as a big country. What we're good at in this country is carrots. And that's it. And I think almost our flag should be a carrot.
That is...
Play to your strengths.
So, what an indictment for England.
I'm afraid
All we're
we
good
are.
at is carrots. By the way, I love carrots. Nothing wrong with that. And shout out to Jeremy Clarkson. How you feel better if we're talking about farming? Have you ever watched Clarkson's Farm?
No.
Well, then. If you haven't, you don't know.
Anyway, get well soon, Jezza. I hope my card arrived. I think you can't really talk about the weather without talking about some of the sort of biggest things that have ever happened with weather. So, for example, there was the Great Flood, as you well know.
Noah's Ark sort of flood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And-
do we know?
What does that mean?
Was there a flood?
Well, I think there was, whether it was that or whether it was the one that just sort of wiped out Atlantis or whatever. I think there have been floods.
Yeah.
There have been tsunamis and all that sort of stuff.
I think they've got Noah's Ark in Turkey on a mountain.
I mean, it's made of wood, surely, so it's not, is it?
well, yeah, I don't know.
I just don't think it is.
I don't want to disparage the Turkish board for tourism, but they do say that they have Noah's Ark on a mountain. You can go see it. Just saying.
Well, I've got Elvis's hat. There you go. Come and see that. Do you think they're going to be queuing up outside?
I will never go to your house, but yeah, go on.
Well, you're not invited. But I do think that the flood is an interesting experiment, right? Because if you're going to wipe out most of the existence on Earth, you probably want to plan it a bit better than they did. So having the animals in 2x2, I immediately foresee problems with that. Well, what if you've got Horace the pig and you've got Margaret the pig, but Horace ain't really into Margaret? You've just imperiled pigs forever. And for what? I mean, what was the plan in here? I don't think it was very well thought through at all. And I think the next time we sort of, more or less wipe out the all of the life on Earth, we should do it with like a lot more care and a bit more diversity. You know what I mean? 4 pigs.
Well, I assume that the whales didn't go on the boat. They said every animal came on 2x2. If you've got fish in the sea and there's a flood, just leave them there.
Well, I think they're as happy as Larry for a little while, but,
I thought we could play a little game, Andy. So, weather, hot, cold.
I want to play a game. Is it sort of... Can we just have a nice podcast that isn't horror?
Well, I didn't say it horror.
Oh, it's just, I think,
should I
horror.
go Bruce Forsyth with it?
When I hear your voice, that's what actually happens. You think your voice sounds normal, but it doesn't. It becomes the Saw monster thing in my mind.
To be fair, since we've been doing this podcast, hearing my own voice through your headphones as you're speaking is horrible. It is horrible, but
Imagine how we feel.
Well, imagine. Do you know, for 6 years I've had to listen to you do webinars, but I'm sick of your voice, mate. Anyway, so this hot and cold game, I was thinking, I'm going to give you something, and then you've got to tell me the answer. I'll tell you if you're hot or cold or not. So, for instance, 19th of July, 2022, the hottest temperature ever recorded in Britain. What exactly was that temperature to a decimal point?
I think it was, bizarrely, it was in somewhere like Lincolnshire. I mean, if you're talking about climate change, which I think we're getting onto
It actually is in Lincolnshire, yeah.
If Lincolnshire is 40 degrees...
You're very warm.
I'm going to go 40.8.
Oh, warm, but not warm enough.
40.7.
Getting warmer.
This is really boring, this bit. So just tell me the answer.
40.3. But still, 40.3. I thought it was in Heathrow. I didn't realise it was in Lincolnshire. Because it's normally where Heathrow. Every time you turn on the news, I assume.
Yorkshire was 40 degrees.
Yeah. Is Lincolnshire Yorkshire? I don't think Lincolnshire is in Yorkshire.
Well, no, it's not. It's a shire, isn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. So why did you say Yorkshire?
Because Yorkshire was also 40 degrees. And if you've been to Yorkshire, it's bloody freezing most of the time.
Was it 40 degrees? When was that?
On the day you're talking about.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, it could have only been 40.2 as we found out. It was 40.3, which is the biggest record. In terms of, so we seem to have a heat wave every year, but in terms of the great heat waves, it's not been close to one particular heat wave, which had 32 degrees plus for 15 days. Can you tell me the year?
I've got two in my mind. I think it was probably 1976.
It was 1976. Were you born in 1976?
No.
Shut up.
But it's a famous year that everybody who lived through it will talk about.
Yeah.
When it didn't rain for like 4 months, and basically it just went up and it just stayed there. The other one that I was thinking of was 2018, because I remember during the World Cup when that was on, it was just so hot that everyone went to the pubs and it stayed up at about 30 degrees for a couple of weeks. And it never, because I was living in a flat at the time as well, it was quite oppressive.
Was that in Russia, 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very hot here.
I mean, you got that bang on.
I can sort of claim the Lincolnshire one as well.
You were close enough. I'll give you half a point. This final one, we touched on worm charming in the last podcast, and I've sort of kept an insect theme here. So, did you know there is an animal that you can use to accurately predict the temperature in Fahrenheit? Can you tell me what that animal is?
Is it a reptile?
No.
Do you have to lick it?
You can eat it.
It's not a reptile.
No.
Is it a gopher or
How many reptiles are you eating?
Well, I don't anymore, but is it a gopher or a groundhog or something?
No, a beer all day. It's a cricket. So, if you count the amount of times that a cricket chirps in 15 seconds and then add 37 to it, apparently it is remarkably close to the temperature in Fahrenheit.
Well, I didn't know that, but I did get 2 right, and I'm quite pleased with that.
I was in Cambodia once. It was absolutely boiling. And I went during rainy season, and I was an idiot and didn't realise that rainy season just means it rains for 2 hours and then it's still 38 degrees, 100% humidity. So I took 1 pair of shorts for 10 days.
So did you assume it doesn't rain in rainy season?
Well, no, I thought it rained all the time. It was rainy season. So I took trousers, coats, everything. Didn't realise it was 38 degrees, 100% humidity, and it just rained for about 3 hours and the rest of the day was boiling. Anyway, I ate a cricket on a stick in Cambodia.
So then they didn't know what the temperature was?
Had no idea. If it was alive.
Thanks.
Could have worn shorts. Exactly. So we've got another question from our community. Thank you very much, by the way. Keep sending in questions and we will answer 1 a week, maybe 2. Depends how many we get through. But this one is about the heat wave and, how the heat wave is affecting growth. Has previous heat waves actually affected growth for a positive or a negative? Because I would assume, before you get into it, that, beers, wines and spirits are an obvious candidate for things going up. You take me as someone who would buy lots of wine in the summer, sit in his shed, not garden, as you previously told us. I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, I think a colleague told me, Champagne, the region, all those sort of wineries are buying English land now, because the weather will be changing and being much more conducive to growing that sort of grape, I guess, which can only be a boost for beer, wines and spirits if that is true. Does it affect, in terms of heat waves, is it positive or a negative?
Well, I mean, this year, so the one that we had in spring has saved our bacon somewhat. Pigs are back.
Pigs are back.
Because we did a forecast at the start of the year, and to be honest, it's been so up and down, not just the weather, but the performance. That we were down on our forecasts and it wasn't looking too great. And then we had those 2 weeks of really hot weather, and it's basically caused such a boost that our forecast is back on track. So in that respect, for us personally, it's kind of useful.
Well, it is funny because you say your forecast and then the forecast is like flat, right? 0% growth. And then you actually look at the chart and it's like up 4, down 8, up 2. I mean, your forecast is relatively flat, but the weeks of how it got there is completely not what you say it is.
Well, that's the beauty of a forecast, isn't it? I mean, you say, oh, this is going to happen. Well, is it going to happen? But forecasts are necessary. They're things that you've got to do. So then you know at least what you're aiming for. And then you try and fiddle the figures as best you can to say, look, the forecast actually happened.
So is this
Speaking about other companies here, you understand?
Obviously, yeah, not our own. So with that in mind then, if that did save us, say we're recording this and it is probably 30 degrees outside by the time we're talking. Obviously, we're in a lovely air-conditioned room, which I'm not going to lie, I brought a jumper with me today thinking it would be so cold, because that's what tends to happen when there's a heat wave. You just blast the aircon in the office and it is unbelievably cold. Do you think it's going to have a good impact if this lasts for, I don't know, till August, end of August? Maybe not 30 degrees every day, but if we have a consistent summer, is that a good thing? Not
over a long term. I think it does. It has a boost. It has an initial boost because people think, oh, it's really hot, and it just gets them thinking about needing to buy something that's relevant to that. I need some small socks or whatever.
I don't know if anyone's like me and has a young kid or kids. Garden toys must be going through the roof.
Exactly.
In the last month, I bought a paddling pool. Somebody bought us a trampoline to
then
put
you need
outside.
Stuff for the paddling pool,
ducks,
and so on and so forth. It just, it does balloon. But then it's not like, oh, in 2 weeks' time, the heat wave's still going on. Let's buy another paddling pool. It doesn't really work like that. So you get an initial boost that can last for a week or two, and then it just becomes a bit sort of normalised.
So would you say if you're an e-commerce retailer, you're looking for a heat wave to last maybe 1 to 2 weeks? Anything longer than that is actually detrimental to you?
Well, it just loses its impact like anything does, really. It's better if things jump around, and you're in the right country if you want the weather to jump around, rather.
Andy, this weekend, obviously it was quite hot. Put a message into the work group of you in a hazmat suit. I can't imagine that was very comfortable. Why were you in a hazmat suit?
That's the sort of thing I do at the weekend.
Is that just typical funfair for you, is it?
Yeah, and it was, I can't even describe to you how hot it was in that thing. So I have the building in my garden that I'm soundproofing. And unfortunately, I've just got to the stage now where I have to handle this hazardous stuff that you have to wear all this protective gear. It's the insulation that you put in the roof and the walls, basically. Stops the sound, but
they've moved away from asbestos, yeah?
I had a mask on, so I think it's probably
that's fine. Yeah.
But it's extremely difficult to work with this stuff. I had a face mask on, ventilation mask. I had goggles on. I couldn't see through the goggles because it was completely wet, basically. And then I had this hazmat suit on. But the thing is, I'm such an idiot that I just keep going. And, most people would do it for half an hour and stop, but I'm still there 2 or 3 hours later. And I physically could not get out of that suit. I mean, I could not get it off me. It became one. We meshed together.
What?
And are now one.
Was it just stuck to you?
Yeah. But, stuck in a way that I just thought, I literally don't know how to get out of this.
Where do you buy a hazmat suit? All good local hazmat retailers.
Exactly, yeah. Have you heard of the internet? You can get all sorts.
Well, yeah, but I've only seen hazmat suits for sale on Halloween costume sites.
It did strike me that maybe I should just go and stand out the front of my house wearing it. Yeah. Just like the full ventilation mask and just stare at people as they're going past.
Well, it makes a change because normally you do that without the hazmat suit on, don't you?
Exactly. I don't think it's a bad thing if everyone thinks you're a bit unhinged. Yeah, I think that's quite useful in a way.
Dog walkers of Surbiton area, beware.
Who messes with someone who stands out the front of their house in the sort of clothes that you would put bodies in acid to break them down? Who messes with that man?
Well, the police, social services, there's quite a few different departments that would like to lock you away for some medical treatment.
If I went and stood outside their building, I don't think they'd arrest me. I think they'd just go, just leave him.
I'd leave you alone. Sure.
What if he bites me?
You look like a biter. I slightly less creepy weekend, obviously. Father's Day, I went and played golf on Sunday. And talking about the weather,
did you have to buy your own Father's Day card?
So I didn't.
Okay, just carry on.
Did you have to buy your own Father's Day card? Oh no!
While you're out, could you just pick up a card?
Really?
Yeah.
How old? Your son's 8?
10.
10.
But there are other people involved who could perhaps have gone and got it.
Did you get a present or anything? Just a card?
I've got some bits and bobs,
Yeah, because my nip is quite young still, like 2.5. It's still a bit of a fanfare for us. But I imagine when you get your kid gets to 10, it's probably no one cares about you, do they?
No.
Oh, so
no.
Do you think you get like a mug?
I already got a mug. But this is back to the point about demand, isn't it? I mean, how many mugs do you then need that say Happy Father's Day, Daddy? It's one, isn't it?
Especially if you're buying them yourself. It looks quite strange. So did you write it for yourself?
I thought about
you
it
go-
because then I thought
did
at
you
least
write
it would
to
say
Daddy?
something nice. You know what I mean? You're wonderful. I really think the world of you.
Yeah. In fact, he couldn't even care less. That's funny. But no, I got a birthday card from, I mean, she's 2, she didn't buy it for herself, but I got a birthday card. Not a birthday card, Father's Day card. And then...
I got a birthday card.
Yeah. And then I went and played golf, and it was, I don't know, very, very hot. And I'm, as you can tell, one of the pastier people you'll ever meet. So any temperature, as soon as it's above like 27, I have to use factor 50 for kids. Like not even just factor 50 for normal adults. I have to use factor 50 for kids. And this is the sort of stuff that doesn't rub in. When you put it on your arms and it just stays like a white, like you've Tipp-Ex'd your arm.
It's like Nutella.
But white.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is literally, yeah. And I had to play, I went and played golf.
In Nutella.
And everybody else is actually quite tanned and looking like good. And there's just this ghost walking around the 9th green. Everyone's a bit creeped out by
Looking
me.
like he's wearing a hazmat suit.
Yeah. Yeah, I did look like you in a hazmat suit. But it was just my legs. It was sad, really. With heat waves in the UK, it doesn't really keep people in the UK when it comes to holidays, right? I've done it. I go down to Cornwall. It's a lovely little place. You can go a few places in the UK, but we all tend to go abroad. Where do you go on holiday?
So, have you put your head in the sea at Bournemouth? Because I
yes,
have
actually.
done that.
I have,
And
yeah.
I thought to myself, do you know what? To that point about, it's pretty hot here now, so why am I paying to go abroad when I could just get the train down to Bournemouth and have a nice little day there? And it was all right. And then when you put your head in the sea when you're in Spain or whatever, in the Mediterranean, it's lovely and you can see all around you and it's really glorious. When I put my head in the sea in Bournemouth, it was basically like I'd just put my head down the toilet, was basically what it was like. And the reason it was like that is because technically that is pretty much what's happened in British coastlines. So I just think that will stop people from thinking I'm going to have a really nice staycation sort of thing because the sea is disgusting.
Well, yeah, I mean, to that vein, I went to Cornwall a couple of years ago and it was hot. It wasn't like it was at the minute, but it was quite hot. Went in Loo, lovely little area, and went in the sea. Oh my God.
You see, I also put my head in the loo, but it was a different sort of thing.
It was so cold. It was unbelievable. Like I put my head in, like I was being really brave in front of my little girl and I was like, nah, it's fine. And go running up and running in. And I just instantly came out of it. You know the cartoons?
Screaming.
Yeah, you know the cartoons like Tom and Jerry where the cat jumps up and then just runs off. It was exactly like that. And I came out essentially crying, couldn't feel my nipples. It was horrible.
Yes, I mean, the problem of nipples obviously is quite a big one when you go in the sea.
But when you go on holiday, because I know this about you, and I want the world to know it, you go Benidorm, don't you?
No, Mallorca.
Oh, I thought you went to Benidorm.
We were supposed to go to Benidorm, but then
Why didn't you go to Benidorm?
Because we got one day out and realised we hadn't renewed my son's passport. So having got him all excited about it, we then didn't go.
You didn't think about just leaving him?
I suppose it could have done. It worked out quite well in that film, didn't it?
Well, exactly. Home Alone.
And in fact, he became really famous after that film. So
He did, and
could
also
make a few bob.
I don't even think he got
What are you taking on holiday for? Get him working.
Well, exactly, and he didn't even get you a Father's Day card, did he?
No, but it was taken care of by a better man.
You. Right, we're getting towards the end of the podcast now. IMRG has tried to take on the weather. How do you think that's gone, Andy?
Terribly, to be honest. I don't think you can really beat the British weather. I think it is its own beast.
Yeah, it is.
Talk about the beast from the east. We're the beast from the west in Britain. I mean, you cannot rely on that thing to do anything that you don't want it to do.
Is there another country that has as unreliable weather?
Ireland, I think, is, although they don't really get sun.
Well, that's what I mean. It's consistent. It rains. You go to Norway, it snows. You go to the Sahara, pretty hot. England just seems to be the only bloody country where it is just up and down the whole time.
I think it's what makes us great. And I think if you, like I say, the carrots, you've got to get carrots on the flag. And also I think the weather is the other thing that, because no one else has that sort of inconsistency, that unreliability that we can really boast of.
Yeah, and I think that makes us who we are as British people.
And it makes me really proud.
Yeah. I love carrots. Right, that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening, everyone, if you made it this far. Like and subscribe and all of that general jazz you do with podcasts. So thanks for listening. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.